Hello there, this is a review of the Spyfu keyword tool. Now this is a tool that I have actually been using for probably about 10 years from time to time. It's not a tool that I would use every day, but it's quite an interesting tool because unlike other tools like Hrefs or SEMrush or SERPstat, it actually offers a few of the unique areas that those tools don't actually offer. So I'll show you those today, those specific areas, rather than the same old that all the other tools show. So there we go. As you can see, this is Spyfu homepage, and it's important to select the right data set. So if I click UK, because for the purpose of this review, we're not really interested in US searches, just UK traffic. So if I enter my competitor, yep. So for this demo, I will use argos.co.uk. And as that data loads in, which there'll be quite a lot, I would imagine. So here we go. So homepage, tutorials, we'll ignore these for the moment, pricing, because it's not really relevant to this video and what I want to show you here. So just an overview. This is as it says, an overview of the monthly domain. So I'll just run through briefly some of these areas on here that are of interest. So we have the organic search volume. So according to Spyfu, the Argos website has almost 250,000 keywords listed on Google within the top 50 results. Total number of unique organic keywords we have seen for this domain, and that means that when one of these keywords is searched on Google, it shows this domain's link in one of its top 50 search results. Okay, so, and as a result of that, this tool estimates that argos.co.uk receives almost 54 million clicks from SEO, from search. And it will also do a calculation. It's estimating the value of those searches as in the organic value of that traffic, of these keywords in this traffic. And of course it does that calculation by just running that through Google AdWords, just to give an estimation. As with all these online tools, it's, in my experience of using them, they can contradict each other quite hugely. Really just use them as a benchmark, and they can highlight really useful bits of information, but it's important to take all the information with a pinch of salt. But it's still better than having a blank page, because of course without these type of tools we would not know these figures and we wouldn't have this information. So keywords, their top competitors also rank for. Okay, we don't need to look at that for the purposes of this. And Spyfu indicates that they have 10 years worth of data for the argos.co.uk domain. Great. And just there's a quick snapshot of the traffic that the domain's received, and we can see that it, okay, December to January. That's interesting. So this may be a contradiction already in this tool, because traffic dipped in December and January, which would be very unusual, because I can tell you that Argos, their peak time is January December to January. So this information here can, again, take it as it is, and it's not literal. It's not, certainly not 100% accurate, not even close, because if anything, this chart should be up here. It should be way above what it is there. So, and again, as you can see here, this tool on the right hand side, it shows us our paid search results, number of paid keywords, and again the estimated monthly clicks, and the AdWords budget per month, 600 grand, just over. And again, so I really like how this is presented. It's just has everything here. It looks visually very useful, very interesting, rather than with a lot of the other tools you have to go to various pages, and it's very easy to get lost. So this is one of the areas that I really like within this tool that the other ones don't use. So it's just given us a snapshot of the number of keywords that just made it onto the first page, and the keywords that have actually fallen off the first page as well. Because if this was your website or a competitor's website, we can just have a look in a bit more detail of those keywords that have fallen off the first page, and possibly why they've fallen off the first page. Why aren't they targeting those? And again, you can use it on your own website, because there may be keywords that have fallen off, and why is that? And it just gives a bit more information, which information is good. All information is good. And as I said before, it may not be accurate, but it just gives a snapshot. It does it the best that it can. These particular tools do their best that they can. So, and again, we can look at that in a bit more detail. We can click through, and there we go. These keywords were once ranking within the top 10 for this domain, but have since lost their rankings and no longer appear on the first page of Google. So from an SEO point of view, this is fascinating, very interesting, very useful. So we can go back to that a bit later on. So, and again, the competition. So we can see the organic competitors, and these are the websites that we would expect to be competing with Argos. So this tool certainly has the niche. It's worked out that these are competitors, so that's pretty accurate. Sometimes when you run these tools, you will actually find a competitor in there that shouldn't be in there, and again that brings into question how accurate is the data. But this is good. We can be happy with those. And paid competitors. Okay, Oakland Furniture. Okay, Argos do sell furniture, so we would expect those in there. Competitor shared keywords, and it just gives us a quick visual representation of all the keywords that the main competitors are using. And what I like about Spyfu is they will actually give us just a general overview of the keywords they're competing, and it will just actually do that by just producing these circles, just these keyword overviews. So the Argos being the larger website, as in the number of keywords, compared to Tesco, and much larger than Currys. And again, we can see now where this tool is very useful. It will actually give us a breakdown of the keywords that are unique to each of those domains. So as it says here, so there are just 130,000 keywords that are unique to Argos, and it does that by doing a comparison between the different domains, the different competitors. So keywords unique to Tesco that aren't used in Argos, just over 132,000, and keywords unique to Currys, 33,000. So those keywords, these unique keywords, are not, they're unique to each domain, as it points out. So the keywords used within these two websites here, they're not found on this Argos website. So again, from an Argos point of view, the SEOs at Argos who are in-house, I do know they're in-house, they don't actually outsource their SEO these days, they do actually have a department, and they could use this tool to actually show, well, okay, what keywords are Currys ranking for that we don't actually rank for. So clicking through would give them that information. And again, there may be hundreds of products that Currys rank for that Argos don't rank for. They could be relevant, they may not be relevant, but this tool just provides information. So fascinating again. So same again with the pay-per-click. So we have, just in a bit more detail here, keyword universe, keywords any domain ranks for. So all the keywords, all of those competitors rank for. And again, keywords any domain ranks for core starting keywords. Okay, we don't need to delve into that too much. And here are the areas that I really find fascinating as well. So keywords that all the competitors rank for, but they're weak in those areas. And again, just giving an overview quickly on these areas. I'll delve in a bit more detail a bit later on. Exclusive keywords. Now, from memory, I don't remember any other tools that actually produce this information. So exclusive keywords. So this indicates that the Argos website has almost 130 keywords that it ranks for that competitors don't rank for. So these are unique keywords. So if a competitor of Argos was using this information, they could quickly find, okay, so what do we need to add onto our website that Argos are currently ranking for? So as I say, there's just so much more information behind these pages. Top keywords, engagement rings. Okay, that's very unusual, but they clearly appear for those. Possibly questionable. Engagement ring, garden furniture, and again, appear number one for that on Google. And what the tool also does is just to give an estimation of the number of clicks for that phrase. So engagement rings, it's just over 29,000 clicks from Google to the Argos website. And we just move into paid search. Interesting, they're bidding on their brand's name. It's costing them 14 pence per click. And according to this, Argos are paying over $1 million per month for their own brand's name, possibly. If they are, then that's way too much. Somebody in their pay-per-click department should really take a look at that, because most people, okay, when they do a search for Argos, they won't type it in the browser. They will do a search in Google, and really no other company should be using their domain, bidding on their domain. If they are, they've trademarked that domain, so therefore they could request that Google shows no other ads for for their brand's name, even though, of course, Argos is a Greek word, so possibly somebody else is also bidding on that. Anyway, spending quite a bit on that either way. And this tool will bring up the keywords that they're paying for, other keywords, Dyson V6, bunk beds, and how much they're paying per click, and the monthly cost. So Dyson V6, £1, 3p per click through Google AdWords, and they're spending just over £6,000 per month on this term alone. So hopefully already you appreciate how useful this tool can be, and just giving you snippets of information just on this one page alone. And here's another area that I really like within this tool. If I haven't highlighted a few other areas already, where this tool goes above and beyond lots of other keywords tools and marketing tools, is that it also recommends AdWords, keywords that you may want to consider buying. So if we were Argos, if we were doing the pay-per-click or the SEO for Argos, this tool recommends that, hey, we might want to pay for the term black bar stool because that's a good buy, the number of impressions, and it will just give us an idea of the competitors for that term. Bar stools for kitchen islands, okay, maybe not. Okay, lots of bar stools. Buy bar stool. That could be something more niche. 210 searches by bar stool. Okay, so at the moment, these are just advising Argos that here are some keywords, and we can drill down and we can see more information about those. And this is the area that just gives us the history of the keywords, as I mentioned down there. Not really of interest for this guide that I'm doing here today. Organic ranking history, so our top 10 keywords. Argos catalog, Argos UK, so Argos homepage, and these are over time. What this tool also does, as you'll see here on this chart, mixed in with everything else, so it's very easy just to get lost within this tool, as it generally is with a lot of these marketing tools, because sometimes they can just have too much information. It can be very difficult to actually find which areas to work on first, and really actionable points. And this is the difference between somebody that does SEO themselves versus somebody that does it as a living and has a lot of background in doing SEO, because these tools are fantastic, but sometimes it can just be an overload of information, and it may need somebody else with a bit more experience just to actually put this information into actionable points, into ways that the information can be used for your website, because otherwise you just have way too much information. And I've seen instances over the years where, because there's just too much information, that the person that's in charge of marketing for the website, be it in-house, may just not really know where to start. So it's important really when you use these tools just to not be overloaded and just to find points of interest that you can work on and the information that will be useful. So talking of useful, Spyfu will also give us an indication of keyword ranking history, but also Google updates, and when Google actually did an update themselves, and we can actually check this against any change in rankings, anything that's changed over time, anything that's fallen. So for example, if we've noticed keywords have fallen, we can just check it against any Google updates. And again, that is so useful. So you really, you wouldn't really necessarily use that on a competitor's website. This is more for your own website. So if you needed to check and you couldn't find the information in Google Analytics, this just gives you just another backup, just another way of actually finding information. Have we lost keywords, rankings, particularly when Google did an update? And as you'd expect with all of these tools nowadays, all of these marketing tools, they also include backlinks and information. And again, this tool tries to do a few more steps than your regular backlinking tools, because it will give us an estimation. And again, it's all estimation in these tools of the number of clicks that a particular page may receive. So if I go here, as you can see, okay, this indicates that this domain's monthly organic clicks helps you see how much traffic they got this previous month to all its pages from unpaid searches. We estimate these clicks using the domain's rank. Okay, so it's estimating that rather than this particular page, the domain actually received 10 million views per month, clicks, sorry, per month, this domain. So Tech Radar, which we can well believe. And the number of page clicks, monthly organic clicks, counted only for the specific URL as a backlink. We estimate these clicks using the click-through rate for the domain or page's organic rank on a page. Okay, multiplied by keywords, search volume. Are you keeping up? So based on the previous month, there we go, as it's, and again, it can be just too much information. Just, okay, it's great to know that information, and is it useful? Possibly, but certainly don't get bogged down with too much information. The domain strength, that's important, of course, and the number of outbound links. Okay, and that's the bottom of all that information. But of course, this tool contains more than that. So if I just have a quick, let's just go to an SEO overview. And this is on the SEO research page. And real credit has to go to the designers of Spyfu, because over the years, the design has really improved, and it just looks so. I think it looks more appealing, and certainly looks so much better than SEMrush. It's so nicely presented, all this information. And so, okay, so here's our SEO overview of Argos.uk, and again back to the keywords, monthly searches that we will have on the home page, and it gives us a bit more information on the dip of traffic. Okay, so I'm just having a look at pages, sorry, page one keywords. So if you want to look at that in more information, as I said before, this is an area that a lot of tools, in fact most tools, don't actually include this information. So we can see Argos UK and the keywords that have just fallen off page one. Okay, not really exciting, some of these keywords, but there may be something in there that's useful to you. It's useful for your own website, useful for a competitor. Speaking of which, let's go to the competitor area. Okay, more comparison of how Argos compares to competitors, just an overview. Combat, so this is where they will show you a visual representation of each domain and competing. And again, as shown on the homepage, it just goes into a bit more detail of the keywords and the information that really you find on the overview page. Okay, keywords groups. I won't go to those pages. Backlinks. Spyfu also includes another area. That just allows you to produce SEO reports, and you can produce these in the PDF format. Now, personally, I didn't really like them. I've created reports, and they do have some demo reports in there. And personally, I didn't really like them because it's almost like the tool has so many options, so many things going for them. It's trying to be everything to everyone. And personally, I found that the SEO reports that you can produce on it aren't really that useful, and they give too much information to clients to the point of, okay, I have lots and pages of a PDF report, but what does it all mean, and what can I do with that information? So personally, I didn't find those useful, and if anything, they don't really need to be there. It's not functionality that's really needed, and that's probably evident in the PDF examples they've actually got on there. I seem to think they're quite a few years old anyway, so it's possibly something the developers of Spyfu aren't really sure about anyway, but they've just sort of put on there. And I do remember from using the tool many years ago that those were already also on there as well. So it may be something that you want to take a look at, but personally, you can spend a lot of time on this area, and it's just not really that useful. So there we go. So if you go to the pay-per-click, and again, there are other areas in the SEO research areas that you can look at, but it's important just to not get too consumed with your time spending on these tools, as I mentioned at the very beginning. So as that loads in, we just have more and more information on their AdWords, on how much they're spending. We can track over the years. Okay, these figures are fairly low because all of a sudden it's shot up. Worst performing keywords. Okay, buy recommendations, again, exclusive keywords. So if we were a competitor of Argos, we can see the paid keywords that we're not using, but Argos are using. That in itself, fantastic. If you're running a large website, an e-commerce website, this function in itself is worth the monthly fee for this tool, even though the version I'm showing you here is actually the free version. So it will give you limited information, but unlike SEMrush, it won't limit you to X number of searches and then block your IP. This tool will actually just give you just the first few results, but it won't prevent you from using it, stop you from using it and having to try again tomorrow. So again, we have competitors and everything you'd expect on here. Also an area of AdWords Advisor. So again, this is the recommendations, the top recommendations for Argos. And if this was your website, more keywords. Oh, there we go, back to our bar stores again. But there may be far more interesting keywords it may recommend if this was your website or a competitor's website. It just so happens Barstool is something that this tool wants to recommend. Also, another area on here, AdWords templates. It's another area that sort of has just been added on, and I've used AdWords templates before in this particular tool. I didn't really find it useful. Again, it just was just too limiting, and I just didn't find it useful. So I won't even spend any time on that. It was just, you don't need to use that. If you if you're a beginner, possibly, but there's so many more better examples around online. And certainly if you're used to setting up pay-per-click ads, you'll just have your default swipe files that you use anyway. You would not need this. In fact, what you already use has been tried and tested, and sorry, but the AdWords templates I really didn't find useful at all. So that's the SEO, pay-per-click, and large area is also keyword research. Now, going back to a point I made before about actually these tools can just have too much information. Really, you only need to go to the overview, the homepage, just to have a summary of everything you need. It's all there because these pages just contain, okay, nice that it's all separated, but it can just be an overload again, because, and you can quite easily get lost of where was this page and what do I need to find and where can I get this information. Just go to the overview page. It just so happens, just for this guide, I'm just going through these particular areas just to give you, just to summarize and just go, just to give you my experience of using this tool. So another huge area, popular area of this tool would be keyword research. So if you go to that page here, so keyword overview for argos.co.uk. So monthly searches, local, so UK searches, global, 90,000 monthly searches, click-through rate. Okay, so very easy to use and see in this tool. So it's giving us a click-through rate. Fantastic. So 13.5% click-through rate. Wow. Okay, that's great. Of course, we can't verify that within the, we just have to take their word, their information that they have. The best way to really verify the accuracy of these tools is to actually put your own domain or a website that you have analytics for, or that what the click-through rate is, because then you can actually test them. And again, what you may find, in my experience, I've entered domains that I control, or client domain, where I know the click-through rate, I know the monthly searches, I know the volumes, and with some websites it will be way out, and yet with other websites it will be fairly close, and in some instances it's pretty much there, it's pretty accurate. So again, there's no one size that fits all. It just varies from website to website. Overall, I would say, as an additional bit of advice, is that these tools, in my experience, they lack when you do a search for a local based website. So whichever region of the country you're in, when you do a search and you have a local website, that's where these tools are lacking in reliability and lacking in the information. So if you're using it with a national or global website, particularly a global website, you'll just have so much more information. So just bear that in mind if you're going to use a tool like this for a local plumber or local web design. You won't have a great deal of information. Okay, so ranking difficulty for the keywords or the key. Okay, we've calculated how difficult it would be to rank on this keyword. The higher the number from scale to scale. Okay, so when actually ranking for a keyword here, this is a keyword overview. So Are we to assume that's a summary of all the keywords? Possibly just an overview of cost per click again, monthly costs. It's information that we have on other pages. Oh, no, back to these. Oh, back to these recommendations. There's that bar stool again. And yet, not quite sure what they've added AdWords buy recommendations. We've already seen it on 2 pages already. So now this is another area. This is a useful summary. This is a useful collection of information because profitable related keywords. So the keywords are most profitable to Argos.uk. So if I was a competing website, this is where this information would be useful. Which keywords are profitable to the Argos website that I could possibly include in my own website. And this highlights the keywords, the pay-per-click keyword that Argos have decided, well, okay, it's such a profitable keyword that we're willing to pay per click for the keyword. And of course, they also appear organically for that keyword. So cost per month. By looking at strong competitors in this niche and their most successful keywords over time, we can suggest similar keywords that we found to be profitable for your competition. Okay, so for the competition, so they're saying that these keywords are actually profitable for your competition rather than Argos. Interesting. Okay, so I think most people have probably dropped off at this point or lost. It's a bit misleading, the information. So it's more profitable related keywords for competitors. So let's backtrack slightly. Cabin bed, if we were the Argos website, cabin bed would be a word that we should be using on our website. And the difficulty level, again, take these with a pinch of salt. Cost per click, local searches. Most successful advertising and their best ads. Okay, not really that useful. History, inbound links, organic search, ranking analysis. Yeah, probably too much information here that you really need. We could just have information over. It looks nice, looks pretty. Related keywords. Let's have a look at that. But I think really you get the general idea with this tool that really the overview page will give you everything that you need to know. So I'll quickly run through any of these. That's okay. Yeah, so they do lots of more information about the keywords. We can narrow those down. We can break them down to volume. But all this information, it's reliant on where they get their information from. How do they get the information? There's too many uncertainties for this information to probably warrant your time to go through in great deal, in great detail. Sorry, because it probably gives you, there's just far too many uncertainties. So advertiser history, backlinks, keyword grouping. Okay, let's go to the SERP analysis. And we have our AdWords advisors. We have lots of links that are in other areas and just going back, so it can be very confusing. I think really they should have just simplified it to have an overview and possibly these areas, and without having all these links, because I think it's just complicated the whole page, and pretty much as we've seeing on some of the other pages, domain strength. Okay, they're looking at each page. We're having an assessment of where that page appears, and not really, in my opinion, all that useful. Backlinks, list builder, and list builder now. This is an area that I looked at quite a long time ago. So let's actually leads, for building leads. Now I think it may have been an area that they just seem to add in as an extra tool. Yeah. So business leads and contacts. Yeah, not really useful. Why would we need business leads and contacts in our tool? It's just something that I feel that they've added on just to give more, possibly just offer something that some of the other tools aren't including. But would you really use this tool as a CRM system, business leads and contacts? No, not really, not at all. Tracking. Do more keyword. Once you discover promising, what do you want to do next? We built a platform to make. No. Far too much information. I did take a look at this, and it may have been something they've added within the last few years. No. But I did take a look at that and really didn't find it all that useful. It just took up too much time. And so you can just spend too much time researching keywords, then researching that those keywords are fine, and it prevents you really from taking action. So I would say no. And reports here, so obviously reports of everything we have. If you decide to add information, it just has everything there, anything you create, anything you want to track. And it also goes back to our SEO reporting tool and pay-per-click. And these were the areas that I mentioned before that they just provided too much information for clients. And they may be good for yourself. And I know on the page here they indicate that actually it's useful for possibly obtaining or generating new clients, but personally I didn't find them useful at all. So the best page is the overview page, because it will just include everything that you actually want on there. So let's go back to Argos. In fact, let's look at another one. Let's go to Amazon.UK. Oh, okay. So it wants me to load. Okay. It wants me to log back in, but I'm not going to log back in. So we can see a bit more information here, but I think you generally get the idea of the tool and what it can do. So just to summarize, I would say that Spyfu is a fantastic tool that you can actually add to your collection of tools that you already do use, simply because it includes functions that other tools don't include, and it can just help you just have an assessment, and it can just bring up some additional ideas that you may want to consider for your own SEO. So I would certainly take a look at this tool. And what I did notice is that they've certainly readjusted the pricing, because I seem to remember that the tool was double this a few years ago. I'm fairly certain it was. So they've reassessed their pricing, and it may be something that you certainly, if you want more information, then you should consider possibly buying. And this page here will just give you a bit more information about what you get for your money. and it includes more on here about leads, and as I said before, it would not be of interest to me for that. So thank you very much, and I hope you found that useful. And as I said before, I certainly recommend that you check out and give it a try, Spyfu, and you can go to spyfu.com. Thank you.